Anjaneyaya Namaha. Chapter 2. Anjaneya, the son of Anjana. Om Anjaneyaya Vidmahe Vayuputraya Dhimahe Tanno Hanumat Prachodayad. The ancient rishis place great importance on the choice of names. There is a mysterious connection between a word and its meaning, and this is the foundation of the yoga known as japa, or continuous repetition of the names of any deity. Hanuman is supposed to have gained all his powers from the continuous japa of the mantra Rama. The name that he is most commonly known as is Hanuman, and this has two meanings. One meaning is that he is Man, a prominent or disfigured jaw, Han. This came about as a result of his jumping for the sun as a child. Another meaning is one whose ego or mind, Man, has been destroyed by Han. His second most common name is Anjaneya, or the son of Anjana, as well as Anjaniputra. He has many names derived from his father Vayu. He is known as Vayuputra, Pavanaputra, Pavagatmaja, as well as Maruti, all of which denote him as the son of Vayu, the Vedic wind god. He is also known as Kesari Sudha, the son of Kesari, and Kesari Nandana, Kesari's darling, in which he is linked with his simian father Kesari. Strangely enough, he has no names that link him with Rudra. When he is called on for protection, he is known as Bajrangabali, which is actually a corruption of the Sanskrit word Vajra, along with Anga, denoting one whose limbs are as hard as the thunderbolt. Another popular name is Sankata Mochana, or the one who releases us from sorrows and dangers. He is also known as Veera and Mahavira, both denoting his great powers. Sometimes he is also referred to as Panchavaktra, or the five-faced one, and Kapishwara, or the lord of monkeys. There are many stories connected with the birth of Hanuman. He claims paternity to two gods and a simian father also, but there has never been any argument about his mother. Many of his epithets, as we have seen, identify him as the son of someone, but he has only one name that connects him with his mother. She has always been accepted as Anjana. Even though he is normally considered as the son of the wind god and Vayu, one story goes that he was actually the son of Shiva and Parvati and was born from Shiva's seed. Shiva was not present when Vishnu took on the form of Mohini in order to outwit the demons. When he heard of Mohini's exquisite beauty, he was eager to see her. He went to Vaikunta, the abode of Vishnu, and asked him to reveal her form to him. When he saw Mohini's world-enchanting form, it is said that even Shiva, the supreme ascetic, fell in love with her. He chased her and embraced her. At that time, his seed, formed out of his great tapasya, slipped out. His semen, which was gleaming on a leaf, was caught by the 7 sages or Saptarishis. When the propitious time came, they gave the seed to Vayu, who took it to the forest where Anjana was doing tapas. She was seated on a hill worshipping Shiva and asking him to bless her with a son. The wind god approached her as a gentle breeze and slipped the celestial seed through her ear into her womb. In due course, the baby monkey, who was also called Hanumat, was born out of Shiva's seed. In the Ananda Ramayana, Hanuman is said to be Rama's brother, born of the same sacred portion that made Darsharada's wife pregnant. Anjana had been worshipping Shiva for many years in order to get an exemplary son. Shiva told her that he was pleased with her tapasya and would be born to her as the 11th Rudra. He told her to raise her cup palms to heaven and wait patiently. Meanwhile, Dasharatha, the king of Ayodhya, was performing the Putra Kameshti Yaga in order to have children. As a result, he received a celestial pudding to be distributed among his 3 wives. Having partaken of the sweet, they gave birth to Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. By divine ordinance, Vayu, in the form of a hawk, is said to have swooped and pecked a bit of the pudding from the hands of his youngest wife, Sumitra. He dropped that into Anjana's outstretched palms while flying over the hill where she was engaged in worship. She consumed the sweet morsel, and Hanuman was born to her as a result. This actually made him Rama's half-brother. Another story goes that Anjana was the daughter of the sage Gautama and his wife Ahalya. The latter was seduced by Indra, the king of gods, who approached her in the form of her husband. When Gautama returned, he cursed both of them. Ahalya believed that her daughter had told on her to Gautama and cursed her to become a monkey. Anjana decided to perform austerities in order to overcome the effects of the curse. She was so absorbed in her tapas that an ant hill started to grow over her. The wind god Vayu took pity on her and fed her regularly through a hole in the ant hill. Meanwhile, Shiva and Parvati used to sport in the forest, taking on the form of various animals. Once they were in a monkey form. Shiva's seed was ejaculated, and Parvati could not bear the intensity of his seed. So Vayu picked it up and carried it to Anjana. 3 months later, Hanuman emerged from her mouth in the form of a baby monkey. The Valmiki Ramayana gives a different version of the birth of Hanuman. The celestial maid Punchikasthala was cursed by a sage and had to be born on earth as a monkey, but she had the power to assume human form at will. Once, when she was wandering along the mountainside, in her beautiful human form, her garments were lifted up by the wind. Vaya was enamored of her lovely limbs and ruffled her clothes and entered into her. Anjana sensed this violation and was about to curse her unseen paramour when the god appeared before her and promised her that not only would there be no loss to her chastity, but she would also get a powerful son equal in strength to himself. The story as given in the Shiva Purana is a little different. Once Parvati heard her husband repeating the mantra Rama and asked him for the reason. Shiva replied that the mantra was very potent since it designated the ultimate reality that had taken on the form of an earthly prince and was an avatar of Vishnu. Parvati, Rama is very dear to me, and I am going to incarnate myself on earth in order to serve him. Parvati protested at this, but Shiva said that he would only send a small part or amsha of himself. Shiva decided to take on the form of a monkey, since he is humble, with simple needs and a simple lifestyle, and needed no observance of the rules of caste and stages of life. This would give him maximum scope for service. Initially, Parvati was shocked at this, but Shiva convinced her that the monkey form was the ideal one for avoiding the lure of Maya. Parvati asked to accompany him and volunteered to become his tail, for the wife was an ornament of her husband, as the tail is of a monkey. Shiva agreed to this, and that is why Hanuman's tail is so beautiful and imbued with Shakti, the power of the goddess. Another story goes that Ravana and Kumbhakarna were incarnations of two of Shiva's attendants. Hence he was obliged to protect them. However, they became arrogant due to the wounds they had received from Brahma and started to harass the gods who appealed to Shiva to protect them. Shiva's anger was fully aroused when Ramana imprisoned Mahakala, the lord of death, and Shani, the planet Saturn. This is another reason why he decided to incarnate as Hanuman. In the time of the Manu Swayambhav, a sage called Shilada did penance to please Shiva and requested that he would like to have a son like him. Shiva agreed to this, and his 11th manifestation was born as his son Nandi. The son performed penance and obtained the boon that he would be born as Shiva's devotee in the form of a bull. While Ravana was rampaging across the earth, he had the temerity to go to Kailasa. Nandi stopped him from entering, and Ravana ridiculed and taunted him, telling him that his face resembled that of a monkey. Nandi cursed him that he would meet his end through a monkey's intervention. Later he requested Shiva to be allowed to be born on earth as Hanuman, the bull among monkeys. One more story in the Shiva Purana says that the wind god Vayu assisted Shiva in slaying the demon called Jalandhara. Shiva offered him a boon. Vayu requested that Shiva be born on earth as his own son, and Shiva agreed. Vishnu wanted Shiva's help in order to slay Ravana, so he prayed to Shiva and performed a puja to him by offering red lotuses, each having 1,000 petals. Shiva appeared and informed him that he had already given the boon to Anjana, that he would be born as her son, and would certainly help him in his avatar as Rama. Since he has been credited with a great number of birth stories, naturally many texts also set different dates on which he is said to have been born. Actually, 8 different dates have been given, and these are enumerated below. All birth dates are gauged according to the Hindu lunar calendar. He is said to have been born on Chitra Paurnami, or the full moon of the month of Chaitra, April-March. Chitra Shukla Ekadashi, or the 11th day of the bright fortnight of Chitra. Kartika Purnima, or the full moon of the month of Kartika, October-November. Kartika Amavasya, or the new moon of the month of Kartika. Shravana Shukla Ekadashi, or the 11th day of the bright fortnight of the month of Shravana. Shravana Purnima, or the full moon of the month of Shravana. Margashishya Shukla Trayodashi, or the 13th day of the bright fortnight of the month of Margashishya, November-December. Ashwin Amavasya, or the new moon of the month of Ashwin, September-October. Out of these, two have come to enjoy wide prominence. The most popular is the full moon in the month of Chitra, which heralds spring. This sets Hanuman's birthday 5 days after that of Rama, who was born on Chitra Navami, on the 9th day of the bright fortnight of Chitra. This also places his birthday in Uttarayana, or the waxing sun, when it is moving northward toward the Himalayas and the world of the gods. However, in Ayodhya, the birthplace of Rama, his birthday is celebrated 6 months later, on the new moon of the autumn month of Kartika. This is also known as Yaksha Amavasya, which again points to his connection with the Yakshas, as has been told before. This date comes in Dakshinayana, or the night of the gods, when the sun heads south towards the realm of the dead, and hence is considered to be waning. These two birth dates give Hanuman a foothold in both halves of the ritual year, one which is associated with the bright forces, or devas, and the other with the world of the dead and elemental forces. It is claimed that he was born either on a Tuesday or a Saturday, and thus these 2 days are kept aside for his worship. As mentioned, according to Indian astrology, these 2 days are most inauspicious since they are governed by the malignant planets Mangala or Mars, which presides over Tuesday, and Shani or Saturn, which presides over Saturday. Worshippers of Hanuman are automatically protected from the evil effects of these planets. You are the incomparable emissary of Rama and the abode of might. You are also known as Anjani Putra and Pavana Putra. Hanuman Chalisa by Tulsidas. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha.